Good afternoon, Mrs. Mason. I'm Andres Paredes. I'm your genetic counselor, and I'll be taking you through your diagnosis of Marfan syndrome. So, really quickly, I just want to give a brief description of this disorder, just so, obviously, we want to have you educated on what's plaguing you. So, Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder. It's caused by a mutation in the FBN1 gene. And I know that sounds like a crazy set of letters, but really what you need to know is that this gene that is now mutated will cause a faulty protein to be created. And this protein will cause weakened connective tissues all around the body. This disorder does not discriminate over the connective tissue it affects, anywhere from bones, teeth, vision, cardiovascular health, your heart. And so there's a lot to take into account. I realize it can be overwhelming at first, but by the end of this, I hope that we can alleviate some of that stress. And so it's a mutation caused in the FBN1 gene, which is on the 15th chromosome. And so here you see on the image to the right, this is a karyotype. This actually, it shows all of your chromosomes. And you see here, the circled chromosome is the 15th. That's where that mutation is occurring. And it's because of this oddly shaped protein that shouldn't be doing what it needs to be. And so to the picture to the left, this shows the pattern of inheritance. And this is an autosomal disorder, which means that it's affecting the body chromosomes, not the X and Y. And so this is a dominant disorder as well, which means that you only need one copy of your allele, dominant copy, so that you attain this disorder. And so here you see highlighted in red is that it's a 50% chance that you may attain this disorder, 50% chance you do, considering if one of your parents also has a disorder as well. So of course you fall under the 50% in red as you have attained this disorder. And that may be evident in long fingers or a disproportionate body, anywhere from fatigue, flat feet, blurred vision, and again, your cardiovascular health. It really does affect everything in the body. This disorder does not discriminate. I keep saying that just because it really does affect all of the connective tissue. And so I understand that, you may be overwhelmed. You have probably thousands of questions running through your mind at this point. And one of them may very well be, will I be able to continue playing basketball? I understand that you have a great passion for it. And the best way I can put it is no, at least not competitively. It's a high stress activity that is putting large amounts of force onto your connective tissue, muscles, bones, really important parts of the body that are essential to your health. And it's just right now, without treatment, it's not a possibility now. Perhaps in the future with any sort of therapy, maybe. But as of now, I wouldn't see yourself going back on that court, at least competitively. And I know that can seem heartbreaking, but there are great alternatives to physical activity if you really truly care about being active. Anywhere from walking, jogging, or just leisurely swimming. Even some light dancing is all right, as long as we keep it non-stressful. Leisure is the key word there. We don't want you putting any more extra stress on your connective tissue that we don't need. And if you really do want to continue playing basketball, it may have to become a home activity. Buying a hoop to put in your driveway. That's all right, as long as we keep the game, as non-stressful as possible. Another obvious question that you may be having is, what's going to happen? Treatment, how are we going to resolve this? And there's really no cure right now for Marfan's. All we can do is treat the auxiliary effects of this syndrome. And again, that sounds horrible, but it's a reality. And the best thing we're going to do is refer you to specialists so that we can begin independently treating all of these different side effects and getting your quality of life up. There's no reason why you should be suffering the way you are. So that's what we're really trying to do: bring quality of life up, get you healthy again. And that includes, referring you to cardiologists, optometrists, uh, you know, even orthodontists, because teeth are also part of the bones, so they may weaken as well with Marfans, and that's also what we're going to try to have to do to treat these side effects. And surgery may also be necessary later in life. With the heart, again, I keep mentioning heart health, but it's really important that we monitor how your heart and your blood vessels are doing, because they're really important, really major organs that we need to keep in check. And so surgery may be in your future as well, aortic valve repair, replacement, or watching for any aneurysms, as I'm aware that your brother passed away from. Very sorry about that. And in terms of treatment, we're looking at blood pressure medication, braces, glasses, and contacts, and all that sorts of stuff. So really non-invasive stuff, non-invasive medications, I should mean. But still, it's going to be a new adjustment to your life, and I understand that. And lastly, I know that children is always a question that many people have, and in your case, just talking about pregnancy itself, there is an elevated risk. However, it's possible. We just have to consider the genetic impacts that it may have on the child. The child could very well be born with Marfans, and so that's one thing we have to consider. So, genetic testing, especially for the baby, for you, could be a possibility. We also have different options, in vitro fertilization, different ways of, if that's what you truly want. And I know that this can seem very overwhelming, and I understand that. I actually, I'm a carrier for Hashimoto's disease, and it plagues much of my family. And so I understand what it means to have just a horrible disorder plaguing you, and how it can change your life. So I really do understand that, but we're trying to make it to where the impacts of this disorder don't have to control your life, that you'll control this disorder and it won't control you. And so lastly, I'm just coming back to treatment and prognosis. Again, that referral to specialists. We're going to want to get you with people who are going to take care of you to the highest detail, heart health, dental health, eyeglasses, contacts, anything that we need to make sure that we're keeping your quality of life at its best. Physical therapy, especially for joints and bones. If you do want to continue any sort of physical activity, that's definitely a possibility. And surgery, of course, we have to monitor all parts of the connective tissue, and surgery may be necessary, especially if we have a weakening of this tissue as it continues. And so, again, I know that it can be really like a smack in the face, and you may feel really surprised. I do get it. But we want you to know that you will continue living, a youthful, a happy life, a long, fulfilled life. And it's very possible. Countless people with Marfans have gone on to achieve great things, and they've lived long lives. So you shouldn't think that this is some sort of death sentence, because it really isn't. We have so many possibilities for treatment, so many ways to keep this disorder in check. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. But again, we want to get you on the right path. We want to get you healthy, and we want to bring your life to what it should be, not in suffering. So thank you very much. And again, contact me, but have a great rest of your week.